Marcia, review and reflection. And this all came about out of two circumstances. Number one, as recently as last night, I was on a great webinar, and we were all making comments because it was a Zoom meeting. So you know how that goes. You can put things in the chat and the host can see it right away and really have a banter, a dialogue, a lot of fun. And so for those participants, including me, that's exactly what was going on. But I was continually nodding my head and really into the information when it occurred to me that this was all things that I, for the most part, already knew. I just had not had to revisit a lot of these tips because a lot of them were sales tips, scripting, messaging, overcoming objections. A lot of us in sales, you know the drill. Well, at the end, the host acknowledged, and she's such a gracious person anyway. And she said, Marcia, you're just such a rock star. You're really into it. I can see where it's, resonating with you and whatnot. And your insights in your chat has been very helpful. And I said, I'm really not all that awesome, but thank you for the compliment. What I realized is this is a refresher course in a lot of ways for me because it's been a couple of years since I've really been in business sales in the formal sense, because I had a 10+ year career in corporate sales where I sold business services or services to businesses. And I thought, the stuff never really changes. Some of the ways of delivering, some of the closes may be a wee bit different, but overall, it doesn't truly change. It continues because sales doesn't change. The dynamic of people overall doesn't change. And that put me back to a place when, for those of you all who do not know, I am an ordained Christian minister, a former pastor. And, excuse me, I remember I had two ordinations. You have two different levels of serving. And at the first ordination, I remember the bishop saying that for those who are already on the second one, this is a good time to reflect on the vows that you originally took and the promises you made in service. And it didn't really sink in with me because I was caught up in the moment of being ordained. Well, the second level of ordination, which was a year or two later, he said the same thing. And it struck me. I had not gone back and reviewed the vows. And I needed to remind myself, to refresh myself on the things. And so the question for us today is, if you've been to a business conference, if you've gotten on a webinar, if you've designed a sales course, if you've taken a sales course, if you've been in conversation or in relationship or, a transaction with somebody, and you get stuck or something is an aha, it's like, I've heard that before, I've thought that before, I've seen that before. It resonates with you and you can't really figure out why or when, or even if you can, it's because you have so many binders full of notes, printed out materials that are sitting on the shelves in your office or down in the basement in a storage box. And the point is, every now and then, it's great to review those notes, because if they were important at the time, surely they can be of some use now. And then reflect on not only where you were maybe in that time when you took those notes or that course of study or even taught it, but how far you've come. Reflection is wonderful. It gives us such a great guide. But too many of us are so busy doing the deal, making the business, getting things done. We don't take the necessary steps to remind ourselves that we are successful. And it's because we've taken copious notes in the past or whatever the case may be. So I'm taking this or giving this, sharing this, putting it out there as a reminder and as an encouragement to review and reflect, because you know more than you realize, and you're farther along in the journey than you give yourself credit for. So as always, I hope this has been helpful. Click on the link above and join our private Facebook group, GratitudeSpeak Collaborates. where we do virtual networking with serious entrepreneurs and small business owners, as well as have members only membership perks. Sorry, that's kind of a tongue twister. And as always, as I sign off, yes, I really do wish you productivity, profitability, and abundant blessings. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.